What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
Spoilers. Episode 5 of Invincible. If you haven't seen it yet, go somewhere else. And then come back. That is right. Welcome back to another spoiler chat for Invincible, the Amazon Prime animated series that I felt like took a step forward as far as storytelling this week.
Yeah, for sure. If you haven't seen our previous spoiler chats, definitely go watch them. But we talked last week about, we thought that it was a weaker episode.
It was a little disjointed. It felt like it felt like it just went in too many different directions at the same time.
Yeah, nothing felt cohesive. Everyone kind of was off doing their own thing. The storylines didn't seem super relevant, other than maybe to like set up some things. But it was not our favorite moment in the show. I
wouldn't say that they weren't relevant. I would say that they weren't relevant to each other, and that's what kind of made it weird. It just felt like it was all over the place. This episode felt like they took the three main storylines. Let's just get into them. There's the Mark's mom. I need to learn the character name because I just think of it as Sandra Oh.
Yeah. I'm
like, so Christina Yang is trying to figure out what's going on with Omni-Man and how she like maybe doesn't trust her husband anymore. We have the Mark and the Amber situation where he's being a bad boyfriend because he's a superhero, and then we have Titan being down on his luck, a super person who is being forced to work for Machine Head, a bad man.
Yes. Yeah, that's the gist of it.
And how those three storylines interacted with each other in this episode felt really strong, and they flowed kind of naturally. Especially for me, the stuff between Omni-Man and Mark's mom. That their relationship and how it relates to how Mark is handling being a high school student, a boyfriend, and a superhero was really interesting. And so I felt like all of the interactions in this episode really meshed together better to tell kind of a more complete story.
Yeah. My biggest kind of anticipated moment like for this series is I want to know with Omni-Man, I need to know why he's doing what he's doing. Because I do believe that he loves his family.
Yeah.
And he, like, has redeeming qualities, and it's not just, like, all a facade, unless maybe it is, and they're doing it very well, which is fine. But I don't think that'll be it. I think it's going to be more complex than that. Obviously, you know the story a bit better than I do.
Here's the thing. I think that it would be uninteresting for us to learn that now.
Oh,
I think that we can't, like, the audience, obviously comic readers know, unless they drastically change things, comic readers kind of have an idea what's coming up. But
yeah, I just mean, like, for me, that's what I'm waiting for. And this episode, I think, tied into that very well with his relationship with his wife, and she got this journal and found, like, his bloody uniform, which was kind of confusing. Your Omni-Man, you could, like, hide it on top of Everest or something, and, like,
you could put it in space. You could literally, like, just fly it to the moon, but you have it, like, on top of your French doors.
Yeah. Interesting choice. That was questionable, but I was like, okay. But yeah.
It was also weird that it was there, considering he knows that demon blood can get into his kitchen.
Demon Blood.
Or
the detective?
Yeah, what was his name? Demon Blood, I think? Dark Blood?
I can't remember.
Maybe it's Dark Blood.
But doesn't he think that he's gone?
Well, actually, we don't know No, I don't think Cecil shared that with him. Right? Because Cecil...
Why would Cecil pretend send him away and not tell him?
But he really sent him away.
No, how is he still there?
He's
how is
not.
He still manipulating things?
The notebook is still there. But Dark Blood is gone.
So the cold feeling is only because the notebook is still around?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. That's
I think it's like a remnant. You know what I mean? It's like a...
I was under the impression that Cecil, like, pretend sent him away so that he could, like, be on Omni-Man's side more, like...
No, I think that because in that scene where he sent Dark Blood away, I feel we're still talking about the last episode, but in the scene where he sent Dark Blood away, he said to his Phil Coulson, like, stand-in, that he needed Dark Blood out of the way because he was being too obvious in his investigation of Omni-Man, and that he was like, if I'm going to invest Omni-Man, I need it to be more on the DL.
Okay.
And so Darkblood was like being a little too like aggressive about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to investigate Omni-Man because maybe he's right, but I'm going to do it without like pissing off Omni-Man.
Yes, and we also found out at the very, very end of this episode that they are trying to figure out a way to be able to destroy him if necessary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this episode is a really interesting storytelling. Using these kind of vignettes of these two moments between Mark's life and Titan's life, and going back and forth, showing that there is some good in Titan, and you know that he does care in certain situations, and that Mark is just really, really bad at lying.
Yep.
Like, I feel like there's a way you could get away with so much of what you're doing. But also, there's, like, other superheroes. Like if you're like, hey, Thursday night, I'm not going to be around. Can you guys, like, just, like, be on alert? Yeah. Like, I feel like the superheroes in this universe need to, like, set up, like, a schedule.
I want to have a date night. Like...
Yeah. But also, why do they even care about secret identities when Omni-Man literally takes off from his house every time? His wife is like, hey, can you go get us dinner from India? And he's like, all right. And then he goes into his backyard.
Just,
boom.
like... I'm like, oh, okay, that's a choice. Yeah, the secret identity thing does not seem to be an issue in this world.
And we were both caught up on the scene between Amber and Adam Eve, where Amber's like, what, too busy saving the world? And we were both like, was that a joke? Or does Amber know that she's a superhero?
Yeah, I was very confused. It's like, oh, so she knows that she's a superhero. And then I was like, wait.
And like, I'm pretty sure it was a joke. But they didn't do the thing. They didn't do the thing where Adam Eve is like, oh, what? No, what?
Yeah, no, Adam
which is
Eve
what I expect.
Like,
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
She's like, not anymore. And I was like, that was a very casual response. That was super cash.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
How many chances would you give Mark Grayson if you were dating him? And is it less than Amber has?
You know what? I want to think that I would be like, hell no, kick him to the curb. But like, I would probably give the same amount of chances. You know, if I was like,
you know what? Good to know.
Like, if you royally screwed up once, you know, you missed dinner with mom. That's like a big no-no. I would give you that, like, you have one more chance to do this. You know, like you screwed up big. You got a moment to redeem yourself because I'm gonna let you do that, and then after that, it's kind of
okay. But he also like disappeared for 2 weeks last episode.
Yeah, but...
And is always late. Like, it's not even like the mom thing was the first thing, right? Like...
No, I know. But, I don't know. I feel like...
I would have been out. I'm like, look, I can't do this.
In high school?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
If you're... And this may be too much information about my personal life, but my mom is always late. Like, my mom is late for everything. So if I dated a woman and she was late all the time, it would remind me of my mom and it would end the relationship.
You know what? That's fair.
Like, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, look, I get this at home. I can't get this in... I need punctuality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is
sorry,
fair.
Mom, I love you. But like, you know.
No, that's fair. I'd say I feel like I would probably do about the same thing if I was in Amber's situation, but I also do think she's being too generous. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it is good to know that I can get away with some stuff. That is like good for me. It's on the internet forever, so now you can't take it back. So then the other side of the story is we follow Titan through his working for Machine Head, who that storyline wasn't very interesting to me because it was just I felt like it was a little cliche until the twist at the very end.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit like, all right, I get it. He's a good guy. You don't have to show it to me like... They were like, and here's another time where he was like a bad guy, but also a good guy. And here's another time where he was... And then here's another time. And I was like,
Like, we get it.
Each of those beats ended the same way.
Yeah. And it only worked, I think, because of the twist at the end.
Yeah, if he had actually just been like, and now I'm out, I would have been like, and so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think they actually were pretty smart with that because I was fully like, oh, okay, this is the story, and then I was very surprised.
Would you say this was a story all about how his life got turned upside down?
Stop. Okay. Yes, I would say that exactly.
But it gets Mark Grayson to the point where he has conflict with his dad. Where his dad's like, don't save individual people, you save millions of people. And I was like, wow, you're a bad superhero.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They keep showing us like a little bit more and a little bit more of Omni-Man that makes you go like.
But also, like, it's not even like he's hiding it from people. Like, if I was his wife, I'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And she kind of does later when Mark isn't there. But at the dinner table, and she's frazzled and she's worried that he's a
She's a
murderer.
little scared of him, yeah.
But, like, even at the dinner table, I was like, you could be like, yo, saving people's the whole job?
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, the whole, like, I've got bigger fish to fry thing is really funny to me, because then in, like, following scenes, he's like, I'm training Mark. Mark, I need you to come down to the bank to stop this, like, guy from stealing money. And I'm like, is stopping that guy from stealing money really a bigger priority to you than stopping a, like, mob leader? Like, it was just his priorities from scene to scene. I was like, I don't get what you want, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't super clear. I am glad though that that something was said, like that dinner scene continued after Mark had left.
Yeah.
You know, that there was more to it, because otherwise I would have been a little disappointed.
The two get together though. Titan. Mark goes against his father's wishes and decides to help him, and they end up fighting Machine Head by breaking into his penthouse and having to fight a bunch of people we've never seen before, which was really interesting. A bunch of villains, and
strong villains.
This is kind of, you know, this is where things get a little bit crazy, because just before the fight gets really crazy, they cut to Omni-Man is flying outside of the penthouse.
Yeah, he's watching
and does nothing. He like watches but does not help as his son gets just beaten to the ground. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, he does call the Teen Titans. I don't know, the
You think he called them?
Yeah, they said they got an anonymous tip.
Interesting. I didn't think it was him.
Yeah, I figured that's how he intervened, because here's the thing.
I didn't even think about that.
Here's the thing. My thoughts on this are that, like, he didn't want his son to, like, be grievously injured, but also wanted to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, but he might die. Like, I feel like he didn't step in when he should have, and I don't necessarily think that he should have stepped in right away. I would have, but like, based on that, he wants his son to learn a lesson, but like, his son legitimately could have died. And still might. Well, like, the episode ends with them being like, we're taking him to the hospital, but we're not sure he'll survive.
Yeah, but then they're testing Viltrumite blood in the lab, and, like, they have no way to destroy it. So I almost feel like he's literally invincible.
Yeah. I guess I just kept expecting him to step in. Especially with, like, Monster Girl is dead now?
Question mark? They weren't.
Her face was off when she was the monster, and then when she goes back to the girl form, her face comes back, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Where I'm still little not clear about that situation, but I feel like Omni-Man didn't think his son was actually in any real danger, and I think that's because they are literally invincible.
We have different ideas of what in danger means.
Fair enough.
His son was very much in danger.
I mean,
from the Thundercats character.
Thundercats character.
I'm just gonna call him Lino for now.
Maybe he can't die.
Maybe
Omni-Man knows that, and he's just like, well, this will teach him a lesson.
That fight scene was great though. I felt like it was really interesting to watch the Guardians of the Globe. Because we get the scene. Titans. No, Team was their name before. It was fun to get to watch the Guardians of the Globe interact with each other, because the first time we see them in this episode, they're coming back from a mission where they succeeded but somewhat failed.
Yeah, about 24 people were injured, according to...
Some people died.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's a shame. I would have liked to have seen them fight that. Like, I would have liked to have seen that scene instead of the reaction. And then by the end of the episode, I was like, you didn't show that, because it would have been kind of a similar thing twice. But getting to see them fighting at first, and then having to come together in the fight with the villains who just whoop their butts.
Yeah. They, like, for like a moment, it was they were legitimately concerned, whereas oftentimes it's kind of like, oh no, we got this, and it doesn't matter as much. And they kind of like rallied once what's his name died.
Oh,
the, like, guy who was originally a Guardian of the Globe.
Black Samson.
Yeah.
Black Samson. He's not dead, though. They took him away on the stretcher. His arm is super, super broken. I don't think he's dead.
I don't know.
I think they played it as if he's still alive.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Here's the thing, like, because of how violent this show is, like,
it's hard to tell what's a killing blow.
No one could actually survive anything that they do. Like, unless Omni-Man literally, like, explodes their head with his hands, like the Mountain did the Viper. That was a reference just for you.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. It seems like people can come back from things, unless they're human. But Black Samson is just a normal dude. When he also like takes his armor off, which I was like, why'd you do that?
Because his armor was short circuiting.
I guess, but it's still arm. It's still your.
I know you are literally vulnerable without it. It was.
You're a dude, and that guy just beat up a Viltrumite. What are you gonna do?
Yep, it was an interesting choice.
But here's the question I have for you: is this new Guardians of the Globe team at all an actual like? Are they the best super team?
Not yet.
But do they even have the possibility of being a good super team? Because I don't think so.
I mean, I honestly don't know why Rex is there.
Without Invincible and Adam Eve, they're lacking like firepower.
Yeah.
Because it kind of seems like Rexplode is a support, right? Because he's just a dude with fire powers, as far as we've known. Like, I don't think he has super strength or anything. What's her name? Multicate or Duplicate? Duplicate is like is an interest. Has interesting powers, but she's not going to be your front runner.
No.
Robot maybe is the strongest member of that team. Yeah, Black Samson is just shooting stuff. Yeah. And Monster Girl's strong, but like isn't your long-term person. We learned this episode that she de-ages by a week every time she turns. So it's kind of like you have this team. Did I miss anyone on that team? Oh, the girl and Wasp.
Right.
Like
Minimize whatever the.
What? Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like Robot did a really poor job putting together his team, and he like focused so much on getting his old members of Teen Team on the team. Wow, say that 10 times fast. That he set up it's not great. Like their powers don't complement each other really well. Yeah. They don't really have like brute force, and like you kind of like there's a reason why Wonder Woman and Superman are on the Justice League. You need those two, and Aquaman. He's like the other strongest member of that, physically strongest member of that team. It's just interesting. It's interesting to have the new like Guardians of the Globe be replaced by this team of like
they're
sidekick characters
missing some pieces to the puzzle for sure.
Yeah.
Though one thing we haven't touched on yet, which I do want to get to before we have to wrap up, is the fact that we learned that Robot is trying to clone Rex.
He needs a body.
He wants a body for himself?
He wants... Well, no, we saw the ugly baby thing. In the last episode, remember?
Right. Yeah, weird.
But, like, I get it. If you wanted a body, Rex is hot.
Yeah, okay.
It's the only reason people seem to put up with him is he's got abs, so...
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah, and like honestly, in the clone process, maybe you get the powers, right? The other thing I want to mention is that the mummy has still not come back.
That's true.
Do you remember that mummy scene from the beginning of last episode?
Yeah.
Also the starfish from last episode. They have left so this show has so many like open-ended stories that I'm like, I guess that'll come back eventually.
I don't think it will.
I think it will. I can't imagine they'll not. They have to bring him back. You can't bring up like, hey, we brought a genocidal alien creature to Earth and then just like it never.
Yeah, I don't think the mummy's coming back.
Oh, it is. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't set up for something later. Okay.
Well, I guess we'll find out. We've only got a few episodes left this season.
I don't know. Here's my question: is Titan a bad guy? At the end of the episode, we see him take over the penthouse. He brings his daughter there without cleaning it first, which is just insane.
Weird. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him.
I don't know either. There's a part of me that's like, he could be an ally.
Yeah. Oh, if he decides to insert himself into this leading role, for the mafia, kind of this whatever it is,
the mob or the
you know, there's potential there for good. but we have no idea what he's going to do with that yet. So.
It's interesting. It would be kind of interesting to have like a mob leader who has to do some bad things, but is trying to make life better for people through illegal means. Like, I feel like that would be a fun, complicated storyline to try and explore. That would be more interesting than like, and now Titan is bad.
Yeah. And so I kind of hope that it's more that.
Because they spent so much of that episode being like, and here's a time, and here's a time, and here's a time, and here's a time, and here's a time. And I was just like, this has to pay off some way down the line.
Yeah, I hope it does, for sure.
Yeah. All right. What do you think is going to happen next?
I don't know, to be honest. I like, there's a lot of like kind of like loose threads right now. There's a lot that could happen. So I don't have a prediction. Yeah,
I have a feeling that at the beginning of the next episode, we will start in the hospital.
Yep.
To see, or actually we probably won't. It'll probably be like the third scene. There will be an opening scene that has nothing to do with anything. And then there will be a scene where it's like Omni-Man and his wife fighting in the kitchen about Mark being hurt, and then it'll cut to the bed.
All right.
And him being like,
All right.
And then Adam Eve is going to confess that she's into him while he's still hurt and asleep, and then he's going to wake up, and she's going to be like, do you remember anything while you were out? And he's going to be like, no. And she'll be like,
thank God.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'll tell Amber you're okay.
Yeah,
I've watched the TV show before. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I really like the show. I'm into it. I thought this episode was really fun.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well done, Amazon.
All right. Well, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Tell us why we're wrong, because if you dislike the video, you can also dislike the video. Hit that not for me button. YouTube just renamed it. But the algorithm is hungry, and we must feed her. If you want more of our faces, we are over on Twitch. I'm over at twitch.tv/nerdynightly. If you catch us the day that it goes up, you can watch the two of us play Dark Souls together and try and stay married. Where do you stream, babe?
I'm over at twitch.tv/ClarusJakari.
Clarus!
I have a 12-hour stream tomorrow
on
Saturday. So come hang out for that. There's going to be a bunch of different stuff going on. It'll be a good time.
And as always, my name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
Do something nerdy tonight. Bye.
Bye.